Hey, welcome to Two Car Pros. Today we're going to show you how to change a battery in a 2012 Chevrolet Silverado with a 5.3 liter engine. This will also work for a Tahoe, Suburban, and Avalanche. Let's get right into it. The first thing we're going to do is remove this brace. Well, when we remove this brace, we need to remove these 4 bolts. They are 13mm. There are nuts that are welded to the bottom, so don't worry about holding onto them with a wrench. You just need a 13mm socket. Right on set. There we go. Okay, so now we need to remove the negative battery terminal cable first with a 10mm socket because if you remove the positive first, it could create shorts. So we need to remove the negative first, so it won't ground out and create a short. Cable off of the negative side of the terminal battery, or battery terminal. There you go, and you can tuck that down in a way so it doesn't gap on you anywhere. Perfect, and now we can do the positive side. Perfect. Now with that shimmied off of there and tucked away, we can work on getting the battery out. Now you're gonna have to trust me on this one. On the right side of the battery, there's a 13mm bolt that we need to remove. It's gonna require a couple of extensions to get down there, but once we remove it, the battery will be free to remove. That little brace right there comes with it. Perfect. Now we can remove the battery. So we need to take a look at our old battery and look how many cold cranking amps it has. This one has 615. Our new one has 680. So you can go a little bit above. It's actually a little bit better to go above because obviously the colder it gets, the less amps it's going to put out. You need to compare size and make sure they're identical in size and make sure the terminal placements are in the correct spots. They're both positive on the right, negative on the left. Generally, every parts house has a big book that'll tell you what battery to get, but this is a good thing to do just to check before you install your battery that it is identical to the one you took out. Okay, now we can put in our new battery the exact way the old one came out. So the negative side is going to face the firewall. Looks perfect. And now we can replace that brace or plastic holding device back into its spot and secure it with the 13mm bolt. Nice long extension will help you out there so it clears the top of the battery. See that? That is tight enough. And now we can replace the positive battery terminal cable with that 10mm nut. So you're going to need a 10mm socket again. And again, now this is a smaller nut, so just use your wrist to judge the how tight it should be. It really shouldn't be Hercules tight. Since it's such a little nut, you could snap it off there and that'd be no fun for anybody. So I would recommend just wrist tight, or maybe even, finger tight if you have strong fingers, but wrist tight's good. Yeah, not super tight. It just needs to not come off and not wiggle and not twist. Then we can put the plastic boot, or the rubber boot back on rather, and now we can replace the negative battery terminal cable. Now it may spark a little bit, don't worry about that too much. Make sure it doesn't arc anywhere and keep the sparks to a minimum because you don't want it to ignite battery gases coming out the top of the battery. And again, wrist tight is good enough. And now we can replace the brace, the top brace we removed earlier. And those are 15mm nuts, if I remember correctly? 15mm bolts, excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, 13.
Oh, are they 13? Okay. 13mm bolts on top there to replace that brace. And again, these don't really have a torque spec either. Forearm tight's good, because they're more of like a medium-sized bolt. That's how you can always gauge how tight something should be. If you want to just eyeball it real quick, because this isn't like a super incredibly crucial thing that needs to be torqued to an exact specification. Forearm tight's acceptable. Very nice, and that's the job done. So that's how you replace the battery. It's pretty simple and straightforward. I feel like anybody can do it. It's important to note that wherever you buy your battery, to return your battery to that place, you want to dispose of your battery properly and within EPA standards. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll catch you next time.